Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk, a call-in show on the Skeptic Haven channel. Let's Talk is a safe place for atheists, those questioning or leaving religion, and anyone that wants to ask questions and have respectful discussions. From the US, you can call in using the phone number on the bottom of the screen, or you can use the call-in studio link that is on the bottom going by as well. Let's start the show.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
What are you doing drinking water?
Did you catch that? You caught me.
Yeah.
God, that's embarrassing.
I'm joking. Of course you're allowed to drink
I
water.
hydrate, guys. And now the whole world knows.
We all know.
That's but you know what? Sometimes it's good to make yourself vulnerable.
That is true.
Let
That
the
is
world
very
know that
true.
let the world know that you drink water. Now they know
Yeah.
something. Now they know something else.
That's true. There we go. Derreck, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too,
I'm
Stacy.
so
It's really
happy.
great.
Yeah.
Living here in beautiful South Carolina, and all the other places I could be tonight, but instead I'm here with you.
Don't look so broken up about it.
Nah, I'm glad to see you, kid.
I
It's
know.
been a minute.
Aw, it has been
Been a
long time.
minute.
It has been. So
What's new with you?
quite a bit actually, but it's been a good year.
Yeah.
And you and I haven't done a show together in, well, not since last year, I don't think. Not since 2023. We did quite a few shows together last year, and I loved it. I love spending time with you, and I was so thrilled when you agreed to be my co-host for tonight. So thank you. And yeah, I miss seeing like your content, but I know that you've kind of taken a bit of a break. So I'm glad that you agreed to make a little bit of a appearance here tonight. And for those who aren't familiar with you, you do have a YouTube channel. You've taken a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
Possibly?
I took a little bit of a hiatus for a while, but I've been doing this sober living thing, actually attending AA meetings of all things, which I swore I'd never do. But I got sucked into it here, and it wound up being good for me. And so I go pretty regularly.
Good for you.
But I guess it was, a good month or so ago, I gave my lead. I shared my story for the first time in a meeting, which was a big deal. And after having done that, having had that experience, I was like, man, I just need to use my YouTube channel as a venue to share this publicly so that more people can hear this, so that, hopefully I can be an inspiration to others as well. So I popped in and made a video just for that. And then the election happened, and I'm still processing that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? So, give me a minute, and hopefully maybe I'll be back with something new again soon. But I started a new job recently too, and so that's kept me pretty busy as of late. But I'm just going to keep on talking and not really give you an opportunity to say anything.
No, it's fine.
Let's go on. Let's talk more about me. What else is no? Let's get back to you.
No, it's fine. No, we just want to remind people that they can call in. The topic can be pretty much anything that you want regarding like leaving religion, questioning religion. If you have religious trauma, that's kind of the topic of tonight. I know that I've dealt with religious trauma, and I'm still dealing with it, being someone who grew up in Christianity, and it's been 3 years since I have deconverted. So that has gone really fast. And also it feels like I didn't leave soon enough. But I really love that, like being on YouTube and talking to people has just helped me kind of go through my process. I know like your background in religion is a little bit different than mine, but you make a lot of content and videos in more of like a kind of from like the history, the mythology. But what has been sort of your feedback from people who have seen your videos? Like, do you get a lot of people who are talking to you about trauma from coming out of religion?
I don't get a whole lot of that, I wouldn't say, because most of my stuff was more geared toward like the history of religions type thing and comparative religion and counter apologetics. So I didn't really get into a whole lot of that. However, I could see, if or when I get a chance to dabble with my channel some more, I could see it taking that direction. Lean more with religious trauma, as well as recovery from all things that adversely impact people, right? I could definitely see it moving in that direction. That would be
because definitely like your content would help people with those questions and help people probably deconvert. So once they kind of go through that process, then they're going to be processing like, oh my gosh, okay, what did I believe? Because I know that when I first was deconverting, like your channel was one of the ones that popped up for me, which now I'm like, oh no, we're friends, which is super fun.
What a way to deconvert. Wow.
But yeah, it's like, it's crazy how well the algorithm tends to know and suggests, different platforms and different channels and stuff. And yours was one that showed up, and I enjoyed your shows a lot, giving the history of religion. So yeah, thank you for that.
Well, thank you for planting that seed, giving me the idea to maybe take the channel in that direction. It's so unusual to hear a good idea from you, that this is something to celebrate for sure.
I know.
You rarely hear it, guys. You rarely hear it.
They're few and far between.
Stacy.
I know. So for those, obviously you can pick up on the fact that Derreck and I have a very great relationship. A very
relationship is what it is.
Oh my gosh. So this is why I was like, yes, I want to do a show with Derreck, because I enjoy the torture. I absolutely love it. So so anywho, what has been one of your more popular videos that you've had on your channel?
The most popular video of all time was, strangely enough, the second one I ever made.
Really?
Which was, it was called The Origins of Yahweh.
Okay.
So basically digging into the origins and development of the biblical God, of the the God of the Hebrew Bible. And it's 85,000 views, I think it's got now.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent, especially from my second YouTube video that I ever made. But I was kind of a one-hit wonder, essentially,
Okay.
That doesn't mean, maybe, if I come into it from a different angle that I can't, but anyway, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about substance.
No,
right?
but it's about what?
Substance. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's a very impactul video, and I can see why people, responded to it as they did. So if you are a free thinking person, check out that video. If you're not, don't watch that video. Don't do it. Don't you do it. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just telling you.
Don't even try it.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoy your videos a lot. And then you ended up doing some more like interview style videos, and yeah, we had you on our channel as well, which we enjoyed a lot. That was fun.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That's somebody.
I know we had to bribe you.
There
was a lot of bribery. A lot of bribery went into that. So
yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. Oh, Stace.
I know. So your background in religion. So for those who don't know, maybe give a bit of your story.
Yeah,
our audience.
my story is crazy. I was brought up in a very unorthodox Christian family, almost kind of a cult in a way. My mother and everyone on her side of the family, her sisters and her parents, my grandparents, believed in what they called physical salvation, which meant that they believed that ultimately Christ would redeem every last living soul, that no one would go to hell permanently. You know what I mean? Not permanently.
Yep. Okay.
In the end, Christ would redeem everyone because he is the Son of God and God is the Father and we are his children. How could you consign your child to eternal torture?
Right.
So that's what they believed, and they took John 3:16 very literally. He who believeth in me shall not die but have everlasting life.
Right.
They meant that by believing in Christ fully in this way, that we would have everlasting life, that we would never die.
Okay. Like on earth?
Exactly.
Okay.
We took it that literally. So yeah, as a kid, I thought I was immortal, thought I couldn't die, which, all right. Yeah.
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 That's a bit of a mind.
And so if you watch my story, if you watch my story on my YouTube channel, it turns out that that's actually true. I cannot die. I can't. It's good luck.
Oh my gosh. So you're like, you have 9 lives.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna push it anymore.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So did you obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but was there any okay. Yeah, you
Stop it. What's the matter with you?
Oh my God. Was there any trauma from the realization once you realized, wait, I probably will die. I will die.
Yeah, I mean, when my dad was never all that sure what to think about this belief system, but sure enough, he gets diagnosed with a pretty serious case of cancer, lymphoma, and a brain tumor. And so on his deathbed, he came to accept it. We thought he was going to be saved, and sure enough, Dad died. That's when, that was, of course, when the armor cracked, and it taught me, painful as an experience as it was, it taught me early on that you have to question things and you have to think critically. You can't just accept any old answer or explanation that someone gives you, whether they're an adult or an authority or whoever they are. You got to think for yourself and find your own answers.
Yeah. Wow. So for me, like a lot of people, once they leave religion, they have that real difficult time kind of grappling with hell and the fear of hell. And for me, that was the first thing that I had to let go of in order to go through with my deconversion, or at that time, deconstruction. I didn't think I would actually deconvert. I just was wanting to question everything. And I was like, if I'm going to go through with this, I need to know I'm not going to go to hell. And so I need to know if hell is real or not. And so I got over that fear of hell. But then once I realized, oh my goodness, there is no heaven. Like that was kind of what was more jarring to me, was that I'm not going to live forever in heaven. And also how fragile this life is, and at any moment it could be taken from me. And that was very scary for me. And obviously, like before that, I knew life was very fragile, but I always knew, well, if and when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. So it was kind of like, I don't need to be afraid. But now I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
Right.
This is the only life I know that I'm guaranteed. So that was kind of,
and we can't take it for granted.
No, exactly. So that was definitely the biggest realization for me. And every so often it still kind of hits me like, this is it. This is all I'm 100% sure of.
Yeah. Not a dress rehearsal, guys. This
No.
is it. This is our one life, and we got to make it count. I appreciate you being so open and vulnerable like that, because Derreck Lambert and I, that piece of shit.
Hi, Derreck Lambert.
Hey, Derreck Lambert. No, but he and I were having the same kind of conversation. We were, openly admitting, hey, God, I wish some of the stuff were true, right? I mean, I wish I really would like to live forever. I could have a blast. I could have a ball. I promise you.
Yeah.
And the thought of seeing mom and dad again, in heaven, if I could see them again, because I lost them both tragically. Seeing my younger half brother, whom I lost to his addiction, I wish these things were true. I'm not about to sit here and say, oh no, I don't even want it to be true. I wish it were true, but at the end of the day, wishful thinking is not enough to get me there.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, it looks like we have a call. So are you ready to take this
Are you ready?
call? I am ready. So we have Jason from, let me see. Oh, hold on. Is he here? Jason, can you hear us? Hold on. I'm going to return. I didn't click him in yet. I'm going to return him to the queue. And then Jason from Pittsburgh. He is a theist, but questioning. He'd like to talk to me about deconverting and then ask Derreck about AA. So, okay. Jason, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh,
can
perfect.
You hear me?
Yes. Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's above 40 here in Pittsburgh, PA. So.
Okay. My little Canadian brain figures that must be cold. Because 40 is really hot for me.
We're Celsius, I guess. So, I mean, yeah. So
you're Fahrenheit, yeah.
Above for the freezing point. So,
okay.
But
yeah, that's cool.
Big fan of both of you all, Stacy. We recently, I was on Stacy's mom podcast, and we're Facebook friends. I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think last year you called yourself Facebook's premier poser gay guy, because everyone, when you were younger, your pictures, everyone thought you were gay. And some of the photos you took on one year.
Are you talking to me or to Derreck about that?
I was just one of flippant comments. I remember, Derreck, we're Facebook friends. I remember you said, like, off the cuff, you said, like, sometimes you were very metro looking in some of your younger pictures. I just thought it was funny. But
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Derreck, I appreciate you sharing that experience with being in the rooms AA and coming out with your story, I guess, with being like, so what is that like? I mean, what's that like being in the is there a high percentage of people who are not people of faith within the rooms that you've seen? Or what about people are coming who may not be?
Yeah, it's difficult to answer because, I mean, with AA, the idea of God or a higher power is a little bit more ambiguous. So you might have a lot of people who are, traditional Christians, but you've got others who believe in just more of a general kind of theism. One that's kind of largely influenced by what you find in the literature there and in the 12 steps, still very much kind of a personal God, one that you can pray to, and has divine providence and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's most people in the program, which is fine by me, as long as they accept me for who I am and allow me to approach things from my own way of approaching them according to my worldview. Then I'm good. Was that your question?
Yeah, I mean, I think with a lot of I've worked in drug and alcohol for some time as well in my like social work practice, and in my we are lucky we have some of the programs here like Smart Recovery, Refugee Recovery, some of the other, but a lot of times it's for a lot of people. Sometimes AA is just the only place I can connect some people to, despite the fact that they may not be people of faith, but it's just, waiting for referrals to outpatient providers or even inpatient providers. Sometimes AA is just the immediate thing I can get them into. And I think I've encountered some people who can kind of help people navigate that process, who like especially sponsors who maybe you can tell maybe not be people of faith, but they've been through the process. So and I guess you just have to it just depends on where you are geographically. So yeah. Very much so, yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because I mean that's what it's been for me, right? Here where I am in South Carolina, it'd be nice to have access to an actual. I don't know if virtual meetings would really do it for me. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned or something. I don't know. I like going to a physical place and making connections with physical people.
Yeah.
And so, it'd be nice if I had access to something like, Smart Recovery or Secular Ring or one of these other secular alternatives. But AA was pretty much the only name in the game for me. So I just knew that I had to take that and make that work if I wanted to have some kind of a social outlet that would be conducive to my sobriety. And lo and behold, I've been able to do that, thank goodness, because I've gained so much from being in those rooms. I mean, I can't get over how much growth I've acquired from doing it, so I can't say enough good about it. But I also have to kind of just take the best and leave the rest, right? With some of the more religious aspects of the program, I try to just discard it and move on. Can you hear our dog?
Yes.
That little shit.
I can.
Sammy.
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate, that, again, I think that your experience can be empowering for people who may not identify with a God or being powerless, except that you can derive benefit from going to the room. So, if I may, and we talked before, but I think that one of the things, and it's kind of the same way with my work in drug and alcohol, like if you are work in the field, one of the things you have to get trained in is kind of what we call the stage of change model, or what we call motivational interviewing. And it's kind of the idea that, you go through this process of contemplating and taking steps to get to where you want to be. And it's not like you certainly didn't wake up one day and say, "Hark, I shall deconvert today."
Mm-hmm.
Like, is like the process of getting to that point where you say, like, I'm going to make this decision today. Like that process of getting there. Like, do you feel it's helpful to be able to like tell your story of how you officially got to that place where you said, "Okay, I'm going to go forward with this decision, and this is the decision I made"?
It's definitely a process. I don't think for me, deconverting was not the end game for me. I was terrified every time I looked into something new, every time I questioned something new. And I remember specifically one particular day. It was about the middle of December, and I joined a subreddit called Ex-Christians, and I wanted to just see what these people were talking about. because I wanted to see like what are ex-Christians saying, and they weren't saying anything like they weren't, I'd found, not like they weren't ragging on religion. They were just kind of like giving their experiences, kind of just telling their stories and raising more questions that they had and answers that they were finding. And the whole time I was reading it, my stomach felt sick. Like I thought I was going to throw up, because one, I felt like I was doing something wrong by even looking at this page. And also, I kept thinking, why are they making so much sense? Why does this resonate with me? How come what they're saying regarding these questions they had and the answers that they were getting, why does this make sense and more sense than anything that I have found from just like asking these questions and getting answers from just the Bible? And the whole time I felt just sick to my stomach. And then I thought, okay, this shouldn't give me this sort of physical response. If the truth is the truth and God is the truth, then I should have a peace about like where my faith is, and knowing that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I shouldn't be feeling so guilty and bad and wrong. And so, but then I quickly left that Reddit group and was like, okay, I shouldn't look there. That was really bad. But then I thought about it for a few days after that. And then I just was like, these questions never left my brain. I wanted to know more. Things were making more sense. I found someone's deconversion story online, a former Christian band leader, and I listened to his deconversion story because I was like, well, am I the only person who's ever gone through this? Because it sure feels like that when you're deconverting and you don't know anybody else. And I had never even heard of things like the atheist experience or Seth Andrews or this whole corner of YouTube. And I listened to his story and I was like, everything he's talking about sounds exactly like what I'm going through and how I've been wrestling for months. So he didn't just wake up one day. This was like a process, just like it has been for me. And one of the things that he said was that really stuck with me was, did God create man or did man create God? And that just like blew me away, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think God created man. I think man created God. And I was just so tired of, anytime I'd go to a Christian, they would always just go right back to the Bible to prove their point or answer a question. And I had never even heard the term of circular reasoning before. And I used that as an example when I was talking to someone about like, I'm so tired of just, it's always right back to the Bible. And then later on, I think it was the next day, that I heard that term in that context of the Bible is being used to prove the Bible and prove God. And that's called circular reasoning. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, Christianity is just filled with logical fallacies. And I didn't know anything about logical fallacies. And so once I started looking into logical fallacies and confirmation bias and all of that, that's when I was like, holy crap, this is what my whole life has been based on, is confirmation bias, logical fallacies. And it just kind of crumbled right then and there. And it was like the first time ever I felt, okay, now I'm actually getting answers. This is making more sense than ever trying to make Christianity fit in my brain into this like box. And it just, I no longer believed. And it wasn't like I made a decision to not believe. It just, the belief just evaporated. And I was like, nope, I can't believe anymore. And I was no longer a Christian, and that was it. So yeah. Anyways, that's.
Do you think, I mean, with me, I think, I mean, we've talked, I mean, I'm not like like the normal theist. I'm a cool theist. Like, but a social worker, I help people. I work with a lot of people who have religious trauma, and I work with people in kind of both directions. I work with people who are leaving. I've worked with people who are coming back. And I think what for me is that with people who, like I've told you before, I was never been a fundamentalist, never believed in the Bible in a literal sense, the way a lot of evangelicals do. But I think for a lot of people who were brought up in that fundamentalist tradition, just that black and white thinking that like is just really problematic. And I think what I've seen, and I wonder if you ever have had this, is to be able to say like, I can hold two simultaneous thoughts. Like, I'm letting go of this, but I still hold something about it valuable, although I'm kind of leaving. Were you ever in that place where you were kind of like still holding on to it, and even though you knew you were letting go of it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see what you mean, but no, for me there was nothing to even want to hold on to, because it honestly caused me a lot of harm once I realized, because I was definitely more of a fundamentalist, and I believed the Bible was literal, inerrant, all of that. And I did have more of that black and white thinking, but also at the same time, like the Christianity that I was raised in was a lot of spiritual warfare, and that caused me so much anxiety, like just a ton of anxiety. So once I realized this, I don't believe in this. I had such a like, oh my gosh, okay, good. I don't have to, like, I no longer believe in the devil, and I don't believe that there's demons behind every corner. So that was, to me, it was like God was just as harmful in that regard, because he created Satan. So I was like, well, there was nothing for me to even want to hold on to. I can understand the comfort that religion brings people, but there was no comfort in it to me, because it actually just caused me a lot of harm once I realized that. So yeah, and
You're in what they call like the action maintenance stage, and when you look in the stages of change model, like you're in that action maintenance stage. And whereas I think that's the struggle for a lot of people in that kind of stage of change, is they have to figure out where they are in their process of either deconstructing or deconverting. And I think people, they call it either the pre-contemplation or the contemplation stage, where you're really kind of working through like that. But you got to that part, and that, honestly, I feel better when I'm working with people who are leaving, who can get to where you are right now, where you've made that decision, you figured out for you. I wish that's why it's the people who are in that stage of really that contemplating and really taking action. That's the hard stage for people who either leaving or coming back, mainly leaving, like when they decide that they're leaving. But it's just, and some people just don't have the luxury of just leaving. Like it's complete. They can risk being ostracized. They can risk losing everything. So,
I was definitely ostracized, but I didn't care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would.
I don't want to take up the whole call, but do you mind like sharing a little? Like that's.
Yeah. The church we were in was a very strict fundamentalist church, and they publicly shamed us and publicly what's the word I'm trying to think of, excommunicated us for 7 months, and I got to watch it on YouTube. So yeah, it was great. And it was like 7 months of just hearing my name and publicly being called out and getting emails sent and just being told that I'm a sinner and I was wayward, and yeah, it was ridiculous. But at the same time, they were empty threats, but it still didn't like feel good. It was awful. So yeah. So anyways.
Really, that's devastating to hear. I can see you're putting a stoic face on, but I can see the trauma in your face talking about it. So, but I appreciate that. And any advice for people I work with who are kind of maybe getting to where you were and really taking that action to officially deconvert, because I try not to tell people what to do. That's my problem, is that I kind of have to meet my clients where they are. Like anything, you can give advice, I can give to my people I work with.
Derreck, I've said a lot right now. I can chime in, but do you have any advice for this portion?
You know, I did not have a very like painful deconversion experience, other than I mean, you know, other than what I'd already talked about, you know, the loss of my father, and you know what I mean, and the confusion and the just general disillusionment with everything I'd been, you know, taught to believe as a kid. You know, that's kind of what broke the spell for me. So, you know, by the time I really began digging into these topics and researching this stuff and, you know, sorting things out, I had pretty well let go of, you know, at least any literalist belief in biblical Christianity, and was open and to learning new things. And the process was invigorating for me. You know, so there was but I guess the process was very different for me also, because we didn't go to church. That's not the kind of Christian upbringing that I had, right? We had our own unique little funky little family thing going on with our weird little belief. So yeah, we didn't actually attend church, so there was never that opportunity for me to be treated as horribly as you were, for instance, Stacy, you know, so just an altogether different dynamic for me. Yeah.
Well, the advice that I would give for someone who's maybe going through that process is don't go to your pastor, because they're going to just turn you right back to resources that will just bring you right back to, you know, Christianity or whatever faith that you're a part of.
They'll hand you Lee Strobel's The Case for Christ.
Exactly.
Terrible. Terrible book.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
I was literally told by our former pastor, and I quote, "It's okay to ask questions as long as those questions don't lead you to abandoning your faith." So really, don't ask questions. So I go to outside sources. Keep questioning. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, because the truth isn't afraid of answers. And that's what I discovered. And like I said, when I got those physical, like I felt like I was going to throw up, and I was like, okay, why do I feel this way? I can tell you that I haven't felt physically ill from wanting to find out more about like evolution, you know, because I was a creationist at one point. So I would just say, like, go with your gut, go with your intuition. It's there for a reason. And there's also, shameless plug, recovering from religion. If you need to talk to somebody as well, they're not going to deconvert you, but they will just help talk to you through those questions that you have. And they're a really great support system, but they're not, their goal isn't to deconvert you. Their goal is to just be a source of support. Why is the shameless plug? Pardon?
Just out of curiosity. Why is it a shameless plug, just out of curiosity?
We just love recovering. No, we just absolutely love recovering from religion. And I will plug them every opportunity that I get. Yeah, Recovering from Religion is a fantastic organization. They have a call-in line. They have a web, like a chat service, 24 hours a day. They also have a lot of online resources like Zoom meetings. They're fantastic, and I've had the pleasure of being a part of a few of their fundraisers and working with them in small ways, just and getting to know the people who run it, and I absolutely love them. So just shamelessly plug them all the time.
And before I
By
go,
the
I don't want
way,
to take up too much more of the time,
It's
but
okay.
I just Stacey, you may have just insight. Like, what do you think the future of Christianity looks like in the U.S.? Because I think that like evangelical is kind of becoming more and more. We're moving more to this whole independent, non-denominational like Christianity, the independent, charismatic Christian. Like, what do you think Christianity is going to look like in this next 10 years, and what do you think we have to look out for in
In the
terms of
US?
harm that yes, US.
Okay, well, I'm Canadian, but I'm watching from the sidelines going,
Oh,
shit.
oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that. Like, but if you had to even say in Canada, then Derreck, if you had any just curiosity.
Yeah, I think it's scary. So Derreck, you give your thoughts because you're the resident American here.
yeah, well, I mean, we see pretty clearly what's happening. Christianity is, being utilized as a political weapon here. It's as the right wing party has been doing for decades. They appeal to a particular stripe of white evangelicalism here in the U.S. In order to win them over and convince them to vote against their own best interests, oftentimes, particularly in economic terms, right? I mean, how many middle-class Americans voted for Donald Trump not having any idea what a tariff is or how it's going to impact them in the coming years, So, utilizing Christianity as a tool for political gain has been going on here for the longest time, and I don't see an end to that anytime soon.
And I don't either.
Yeah.
As my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So, one more thing. I don't know, Derreck, I just want to mention this really quick. I believe you also wrote a book, Derreck?
I did. I wrote a very kind of brief memoir that you can find on Amazon. It's called Addictus, A Non-Believer's Path to Recovery. It was written several years ago, and it's badly in need of an update or revision, but you can get, a nice little chunk of my story from reading that, But I, I always like to be forthright about the fact that I did relapse after having wrote that book. But I even in the book I do say, hey, I'm not cured, and in fact I never will be, right? Something that could always take me again. But I would say I'm doing far better nowadays than I was even at the time that I wrote that book. So
good. Okay. Yeah, because I knew it came from a standpoint of as a non-believer, so I thought that'd be a good. Anything else, Jason?
Before I go shameless. Yes, before I go shameless plug for my book, if you don't mind, Jesus Over the Rainbow, 10 Anti-LGBTQ Myths and the Christian Right, on Amazon, or my website, jasonvanness.com. I'm working with a lot of people who are really contacting me saying, man, I wish I had this when I was coming out. Man, I wish I could. I'm trying to get my dad to read this to unlearn his homophobia he learned in their transphobia in the evangelical community. I am available as well for anyone who is really like struggling, wanting to leave organized religion. I'm a person of faith and I've helped many people through that process. Please, if you can't reach out to me, reach out to these wonderful people. Thank you so much for the awesome work you do, and I'll let another caller come in.
Oh, well, thank you for calling. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Jason.
As always.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Well, that was
Yeah.
a nice conversation.
It was a nice conversation.
That was
So
really nice.
is it just you and me now?
It is. I know. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to grin and bear it.
So for everyone listening, when Stacy says things like process, that's Canadian for process. That's what she's talking about as a process. When she says I'm sorry, she's apologizing. She's saying I'm sorry. That's what she's saying when she says those things. Because I know if you guys are listening, you're like, what is this foreigner talking about?
Was there anything else that I said that maybe people didn't understand?
No, I think that's it for now. I mean, I could pick you apart all day, Stacy. It's
Oh my God.
at some point I got to hit the brakes, right?
So process. You say process.
Yeah, process.
Process.
Yeah. It's not just a difference in, geographical. It's just you're saying it wrong and I'm saying it right. And the sooner you accept that, the better off we'll all be.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. There's so many. I was having this conversation with someone just the other day about obviously different pronunciations of words. Clearly I shouldn't say clearly. I don't want to have an accent, but I believe I have a slight Canadian accent. And then just a little bit, which I don't like. And then also just different ways of saying things like what do you call what you use when you're grocery shopping and you put your groceries in? What do you call that?
A grocery cart?
Yeah. So yeah.
What do you call it?
I call it a buggy. Yeah.
How do I leave the studio? How do I get the
And then also we don't have any calls at the moment. So, but nobody's like listening to us banter and being like, come on, you guys. But the other thing is, what do you call, like, when you're putting food in your sink and you push a button and it like does that and it eats it?
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Oh God, it's a because I don't have. Oh, what do we call that? Just garbage disposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I call it.
What do you call it?
A garburator. Your face. Yeah. So funny. What? Is that really that funny? A garburator? Have you ever heard that before?
No. God, no.
You've never heard a garburator?
No, that's a Stacy thing.
It's not
a
Stacy thing. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Yes. That's the proper spelling for color and center. Yeah. So anyways, we could go on and on and on, but
yeah. Just know if your accent bothers you, just imagine how much it bothers us. You know what I mean? Just let that, you know what I mean? Hang on to that thought.
Oh my gosh. Did you see my post the other day about when you think of Canada, like what do you think of?
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't answer anything. So what do you think of?
When I think of Canada?
Yeah.
What do I think of?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Why do I not have an immediate answer to this?
It's not a trick question.
Yeah. When I think of Canada, I think of I don't know.
It should be me. I'm just joking.
Yes.
I know.
That's the answer.
Oh, I gave that to you. All right. No, I had a lot of healthcare, maple syrup, a boot instead of about. But I'm like, okay. I don't say a boot.
What is that? What is that on the boot?
What about a boot? About
a boot?
Moose, hockey. Nice people. Sorry. Did I say it again? Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, okay.
All
Well,
the funniest people are from Canada. I mean,
that's right. That's right. All right. So we don't have any other calls at the moment, but if anyone would like to call, we have lines open and we're willing to take your call. But this is great. So, but before anything else, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever we go live with any of our shows here on Skeptic Haven, because we have a lot of other shows here. So Thursday nights, there's the Sunny Spot. On Saturdays, there's the Global Atheists and Women Atheists Unload. And then Sundays, there's this show, Let's Talk. And then on Tuesdays, there is also the occasional secular soapbox, which I used to host, but it's been a minute. So maybe we will get back into the groove of that. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Jarrett, I hate to break it to you, but every single person on the planet has an accent. I know. I just wish that mine wasn't so dorky.
Yeah. No, I do too. I do too. I mean, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard almost, really. It's
I'm
just
so
absolutely irritating as hell.
Yes. I'm so sorry. Right. And there's also the Black Free Thinkers. That's another show that we have here on Skeptic Haven.
Really?
Yeah.
When is that?
I don't know the day. Someone needs to update the script.
Well, someone needs to send me the information on that. I would be very much interested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you need to hit the bell to be notified.
Well, for the love of God. Where's the damn bell?
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun with you. And if we don't get any more calls in the next few minutes, we will probably wrap this up because it's been almost an hour. And then I think it's a good Sunday day. Sunday night.
And I'm at the point, honestly, where I don't know how much more of your attitude or accent I can take. So let's, if ever I wanted to whip out the wrap it up box.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Well, thanks, Derreck. I appreciate it. No, I really do appreciate you being here tonight and hanging out with me and putting up with me.
And putting up. Thank you. It's a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I know. I am a lot.
I know.
Yes. So
I am a lot. That's the right attitude, girl. That's it. There you go.
I am.
All mission accomplished. If I just got you to say that, it was a successful night, guys.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I am a lot. I'm a lot.
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where can people find you?
Don't just leave me alone. Please, for the love of God, let me live my life in peace. You can find Atheologica on YouTube. Whenever I get a chance to put out new content, I will. I've been toying with some ideas for TikTok as well.
You should totally do TikTok.
I do have a TikTok. I don't get a lot of time to do much with it, but I've been playing with some ideas. So
yeah, you'd be great on TikTok, like regularly and doing that. Yeah,
that's what I keep telling everybody.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. Okay, sorry. Atheologica.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then you can find me over at the Stacy's Mom podcast. And I'm there with my mom on most Mondays. So
give her a smooch on the cheek for me, will you?
Oh, my mom. Yes, I will. When I see her again, because I haven't seen her in like 3 months. So
no.
It's been a minute.
I'll bet you see her again.
I better. But also, huge thank you to our patrons. And their names are running on the bottom of the screen. We couldn't do this without our patrons. And if you would like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/skeptichaven and sign up there, because that is a really great place to support us. So, but yeah, thank you again for being here, and for everyone in the chat who has interacted. We love seeing you here. And also thank you to Jason for calling in. That was a really great conversation. Loved that a lot. So, but yeah, I think we were going to call this a night, because
Thank God.
yeah, thank God. What God? You pick one.
I'm going to go with Apollo.
Okay. Thank Apollo.
Mhm.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Derreck. And thanks to everyone for behind the scenes, our call screener and our producers. So, all right. We will see you next time. And bye, everyone. Thank you.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.